Okay, thought I'd do part 3. Might make this a small part, I don't know. So I thought one of the things that'd be kind of also interesting to see is we have the idea of bringing up an item on your screen and being able to turn it and inspect it. And the way you do that is, say I make this item. This is going to be my inspector, and I'm going to zero his position out, and I'm going to give him a camera, and I'm going to put him, create another object, and this is going to be my holder. And just for references right now, let's go and take a look. So if we take the camera and go, say, -2, -2.5. Okay, that will probably work. Let's get rid of that. So the way you would want that to appear is we need, okay, first of all, well, no, we'll do the controls after. So on the camera, I'm going to set this to solid color, and I am going to set him down to, I don't know, say 5. He can go to 0. Get rid of the audio listener. A lot of this stuff isn't going to matter. Okay. Now, that's obviously not good, right? But if I go over and create, right click, create, render texture, call this one item, and if I go to this camera and say, okay, everything you render, you feed into that. And then say up here, I create a raw image, take that render texture we made, drag it into here. We don't need this stuff. We now have, well, for example, if I create a cube, we have a cube. Let's, okay, well, right, so if I spin the cube, there you have this thing on our screen. If you can see it, it's down here obviously, right, that we can rotate and spin around. So size wise, let's go -1. Let's see if that's, oh, we're getting a little close there. -1.5. And let's, alright, okay, let's just do this. Let's do -3. And then just bring this guy way up. Go 35. Yeah. Okay, then I'll take this render texture and I'm going to say a width of, I don't know, say 200. So now, as I spin this cube, I have this wonderful little thing. Now, lighting wise, you have 2 options. I'm going to take the easy way out, but I'll show you both. On this camera, I could add a point light. And that almost kind of adds this nice dark effect to it as well, right? It looks pretty good. The other option is you'd have to go through all your items and you can create another material, say item material. You'd have to create this for each of your items, right? And this one's using a standard shader. And if I go to that and go unlit, I'll just do color. He technically now has no lighting. I don't know if that's the right one I really want to use. unlit there. That's really just unlit. Now, if I had a texture, it would probably look a lot different. There we go. Unlit texture, right? Because you probably have textures, your things. You're not going to have just a base color. But there you have, it's not affected by light, right? Like if I get rid of that light, it doesn't matter, right? And that's what the shader does, right? It unlit, so it doesn't care about light. It's always going to be lit. In fact, you can't light it. And I can put a light here on this camera, point light, set it to 50 and frickin' 5 billion zillion things, and this cube doesn't change, right? And if I go to pretty much anything else, well, probably not that one. I don't know, like it's like lit right up like insane, right? Now it's not lit, so I don't know. The normal point light kind of does look real nice on it, though. It keeps that kind of darkness. So anyways, that's how we're going to set up this guy, right? So we'd have our inspector image. So on our player HUD, right, we have this stuff here, and we activate texts and stuff. So we very easily could be, let's go back to our player, turn these off so I can see. Alright, let's stick an item. What do we have in our flooded grounds, prefabs, props, something small, not a car, or a flying saucer. Okay, well, how about use? There we go. So if I stick him, of course, and when they did the colliders on their stuff for this demo, they just did box colliders, which, you know, makes sense for what they were doing. That's fine. I'm going to go with a normal mesh collider. There. So now I'll get rid of him. Why is, oh, has he got two? Alright. We really don't need a collider on the second far LOD. Not for what we're doing. Right, so if this is a base, I'm going to unpack him. I'm going to change his name. And we're going to change his tag to item. There he is. He has a collider. That's fine. Let's shrink this down. And let's prefab him into our stuff. So on this guy, if we go to our tag switch and we add a switch, and it is item, we can send event is item. We'll add that here. Transfer over. Now, unlike the door, like say we'll use door, now we'll go to all doors. This one we're going to get something a little different. We're going to get name. So we're going to get the hit objects name. We are going to build string. And we only need 2 parts. And we can say inspect, second part, the hit name, add a space there, store as toSetText. Obviously put the get name above build string, and we will copy this guy, stick him here. So we are going to get this text, but we don't want to use door, we want to use toSetText. Now, if we want a little bit of interaction, the other thing we could do is get key down, and that is, we'll say I for inspect. And we'll get rid of this and turn it into a inspect. The other thing we are going to need is, okay, so for the inspect, we're going to go over here. We need a way to come off of that, right? So we'd almost want to do this raycast, which doesn't have every frame. So let's just take a look at the sphere cast too, see if it does. I don't know why it does that. Okay, well, while it's thinking, if we hit I, we are going to create an object. It's going to be our inspecting item. This HUD needs references to the item inspect placeholder, and we are going to parent that to that placeholder, and we're going to store that as current inspecting item, so we can make sure that we destroy it after. And we want to, okay, these setting positions should work, but we've already seen where we've had that issue before, so I am just going to set position on it anyways, and that's not what I wanted. On the current inspecting item to 000 of self. Okay, so it's going to create that. We also need to have this guy. So we need to activate him. Let's just copy one of these activates and place the inspector image. We're activating it. And then let's get key down again. That'll be to close it. And if we close the inspector, let's see if we can get this one. Then we want to destroy object, current inspecting item, and we want to deactivate our image. And we want to deactivate our text. And we'll do a next frame. And we're going to go over there. Right, so this guy needs a way that we can come out of it though, if we are moving our mouse. So let's check out Sphere Cast 2. Does he have, yeah, he has the repeat interval. So let's move him to the top. The radius can be 0.25 Z, and distance 2.5, we'll copy that one. And if we are not hitting, we have left. That's really the only thing we need to do. And we'll go back over here. But we will add the layer, because we still don't want to hit the player. Invert it. Okay. The other thing we want to do is we over on our guy over here. All we want is get axes. We need 2 of those. We need horizontal multiplier, something a little bigger. That's an H store. Vertical 25. Might need to invert that one, but first we'll look. And rotate. Use owner rotate on the Y. We'll use the H. And so our camera's there. So that's the Y. We also want to rotate on this guy, which, okay, we'll zero that out. On this guy, which is the X. So we are in the wrong spot. On the X, vertical. And let's do that per second. And move this guy to the bottom. Okay, so let's just see what happens. Flashlight here. Let's open it dead to start with. We'll have to adjust that flashlight. So, what is this guy looking at? Okay, we're going to want that flashlight be looking kind of where we're looking for things like that. We obviously got to adjust that. So, camera holder. It's not hitting the player. Okay, let's take this up just briefly. That's weird, can't pause. So it's hitting the wall. Oh, we did a layer, didn't we? Come to think of it. Right? Didn't we put doors on a layer? If not, we should. The door. Okay. So let's make a layer for interactions. And that way we can take any doors, stick them on interactions, take our little vase, select him, put him on interactions, yes. That's probably our issue right there. We have a tag on him and no collider, right? We have a collider on him, but he's not tagged right. So let's fix that. Okay, now let's go back to this guy. And sphere cast, let's do interactions, take the invert off. We're just going to hit interactions. We don't need to hit anything else. We don't need to hit walls or stuff like that unless we want to. Right? Then we'll put them on the interaction layer. So there's his door. Okay, so there is where's my vase? Let's move the vase up a bit. Does it have a rigid body? Oh, it's static. I don't want it static. Okay, and I'm going to get rid of that collider. Thought I already did that. So that should be raycast. Let's toggle a breakpoint. And before we move anything, let's just take him. Make sure he's like right in the middle of the screen. We should be hitting him. And let's go over to our interaction. We hit the vase. We get the tag. It is item. It is seeing it. Switching, but it's doing this. Oh wait, no, it came all the way over. So we obviously didn't tell it to increase or turn our text on when we get to here. Oh yeah. So that should be just a matter of we are using that, we are inverting it. We have a no hit. So we want to interactions, take that off. We're going to actually move him down. Now let's go. I'm always hitting my shift key to try to sprint. So what is he not doing? Oh, that's stupid static. Totally got to take that off. It's annoying me. So let's move him. He is in the middle of the screen. It's going through the weight. And there it goes. It hits this and it gets to the left because over here we are raycasting from the use owner, and that would cause us to hit absolutely nothing because we aren't raycasting from the owner, we are raycasting from this guy. Alright, take this off. Inspect the vase, and if I hit I, okay, so yeah, we got to change that name now because we take the name from it, right? Or put a collider on the top part, either or. So we create the inspecting item, which is none, apparently. We should change that to the hit object. Okay, so that needs to be the hit object. And let's change this vase, this guy, the one we're actually hitting, to vase. If you don't have LODs, obviously you don't got to worry about any of that. So, come on, let's see here. Let's see, doors. Yeah, so you notice how we're not really in the middle of the screen, that's closer, but we have that little bit of thickness. Right? Inspect vase. Now if I hit I get this thing. Right? So I can, obviously we got to disable the character, and we need to adjust a bunch of stuff. So this guy has got poor quality, so I'm going to times 4 times 4, and we want to move the image down a bit so it's not overlapping. If not, even stick it over on the side maybe. Be a better spot for it. I don't know, I guess you can kind of put it anywhere you want, I suppose. What else do we need to do is on this guy. So when we hit this phase, actually one of the things we could probably do instead of, well, not instead of, but if we're here, let's paste before and let's deactivate our text for starters. Then we'll just put this guy right back in the middle. And we'll probably make him even a little bigger. Say 300 by 300. On our player, we have this guy, right? So we need to, I'm going to make an FSM called disable, and if we get an event called disable, then we are going to turn this guy off. We're just going to flat out turn him off. And we need to disable this guy, which if it causes issues when it comes back on, we have ideas on how to fix that. So enable, now the player has his disable. So if we are in here and we hit the inspect button, we want to send an event to our player to disable and let's move that up here, and if we close it, then we want to enable. The other thing you could do is when we turn the object on that we're inspecting with, is to make it kind of grow. So it's almost like it comes from the middle of the screen. Yeah, so now I can't move my mouse, can't move the character. We should tell the animation to stop. We need to speed that up and probably adjust some stuff. There's a much better feel. So let's just briefly go into the holder and say, let's just double that one, and let's change, whoops, oh, he's good. Let's do this one. So if I go left, I'm spinning it that way. Alright, so this is what we're going to do with that. I'm going to, that's my daughter, she is awake. I don't know why he's all messed up now. Okay. We're going to change this to world. And then I'm going to take this guy back off. And not vector and X. So on world, if I hit left, or I'm hitting right, hit left, hit down, hit up. That's a little better. Okay, so we need to up that. Even at 50 it was pretty slow, so let's go like that. Let's go world, and on the disable, let's tell this guy set animator. What was in set animator? Because he's getting the magnitude. Okay, well, you know what? That means we can just be sneaky ourselves. Set FSM float on the owner. On that FSM, we're going to set the magnitude to 0. And with him turned off, he's not going to set it back up. So the animation will just stop. I'm going to save that. Hit play. Chair fell over. And I'm going to hit I. Now I have this. And I can inspect it. Probably almost make it bigger though, eh? And the other thing we want to do so if we're looking at something, oh, let's go look at the pause. So we want to come out of 2D mode, some battery has died. Battery life. Let's ram that up. There we go. Maybe I'll just give it a small turn. I don't know why I did that. There, let's just give it a slight over that way and up a bit. There we go. So let's copy that transform, come out of here, and paste transform. Let's also inspector image, take this one up to say even 500. Let's go crazy. Go big or go home, right? Let's see, make sure it's not going into anything though. No, it is going into stuff. Okay, let's go 450. Ooh, that might be too much there. 425. Final offer. And that's probably good. Do one last little check. Put our flashlight, we can adjust our flashlight, it's in a better spot, we can see the door, we can use door, we can almost expand that right out a bit. See the vase. Oh, that's a pretty good size. Alright. Well, I think I'll probably call it good on that. We'll leave that video a little shorter. And it's based on the inspections. I think next maybe we'll add in things on those things to inspect, right? We'll create something where if you turn it and you're looking at a specific area on it, or it's looking at you, however you want to look at that, maybe you'll have a button here or something. Something pops up saying, oh hey, you know what, take the key or something. Alright, so we'll catch you in the next video. Talk to you later.